side, and now we are ready for the election proper. We have candidates that has been given a kind of clean bill of health by the Independent National Electoral Commission to actually run come February next year. So what our news is trying to say?
Well, it's simply amplifying what even Wiki has been saying, that the APC, the PDP should have zoned the presidency to the south, especially given that his constitution is enshrined in his constitution, and the word "shall" was actually used, which means that it is not ambiguous. It's not ambiguous in any way. It's strong. Yes, when you say "shall," that means must. It's another way of saying must. So the party decided to sell tickets to virtually everybody. APC too did the same thing. It's just the governors of the APC that said no, this thing has to go to the south. But in the case of the PDP, despite having so many governors from the south, much more than the APC, they couldn't push hard enough for power to go to the south after President Buhari's 8 years. So Ohaneze is simply now, at this time, amplifying that. It's a cultural organization. It's just like Afenifere. Afenifere would be expected to push this kind of agenda. So as a cultural group, it's not unusual for them to say, oh, our interests are best protected if you allow power to shift to the south. And now the point that they are making is that only a southern presidency can truly unite Nigeria. I thought that before now, that should have been made clear. Some of the aspirants from the southeast who lost out at both the PDP and the APC convention, they condemned the disunity, especially in the southeast, that if they had come together, maybe things would have been different. But we didn't see that. And the reluctance to even vote for their own people is what shocks me, because when you look at what transpired at both conventions, some of the credible candidates from the south were rejected by their own people. Some of the governors even made it open.
From the southeast.
Yes.
They did not vote for
their own people. Like one of the governors made it abundantly clear that he was for the Senate president. And you could not even get close to his own his delegate. He saw the delegates more or less like his personal possession. So he did not even let others get close. So if you can push extremely hard for an individual from a different region of the country, that means that when people talk about, oh, it's time for Igbo presidency, it's time for this, it's time for Yoruba presidency, it means that it's just empty gas in the real sense of the word, that people are only after their interests. If their friend is contesting and he hails from maybe northern Nigeria, they will push hard for that friend of theirs to get it, rather than their own brother. So this was what we see, and it was such a shame. But at the end of the day, we must appreciate people, governors from northern Nigeria, people like El-Rufai, people like Ganduje, who had been saying it for some time that, look, this thing had to go to the south, and they pushed hard and ensured that the candidate of their own party emerged, resoundingly, overwhelmingly, with an audacious margin from the south. It's thanks to those governors.
A social cultural group like Ohaneze, how will I put it? The deed has been done.
Yeah.
It was as a result of the fallout of not zoning into the southeast that people like Peter Obi left the People's Democratic Party to go and form Labour Party.
No, to go and join.
To go and join, to go and join Labour Party, and he was adopted as a presidential candidate. So don't you think at this time, variety, they say, is the spice of life? If our needs is, we see that, look, the People's Democratic Party, they've decided to field somebody from the north. They can pitch their tent with somebody running in another party.
Well, you have to understand that although we call them like a very social cultural organizations, they have a very heavy political tendencies. Because whether for or against, whatever will be the interest of the area that they are covering, let me use that word. For others, I agree with their position because the election has not been held. And they have options. And I think this is what we call delayed reaction. Maybe they were in shock when the article emerged, and they just could not get their acts together to react accordingly at that point in time. Because a lot of people thought, given the level of personal and group investments that the Southeast has given to the PDP in the last 23 years, that giving them the ticket would be a given, especially this time around. And we all know, despite all attempt to jiggle everything, the moment they threw it open, we knew something was afoot. Because traditionally, once their constitution is very clear about where the presidency should go, the first thing they ought to have done is to make it clear. But the moment they set up that committee, the autumn committee, you know that there's something fishy. It's about. Don't also forget that the man who later emerged also said that he will not contest if they zone into the Southeast, which is also to me a fallacy. Because you don't need somebody, you don't need to give condition to do what is right. If you know in your mind that the best thing to do for PDP is to allow the ticket to go to the South, you can't tell somebody who's getting married that, look, if your husband does not feed you 3 times a day, I will not toast you. What's that? It's no longer your wife. It's not somebody else's wife. So what you need to do is simply pray for them and say, okay, we are going to the Southeast like the APC governors did. Let's keep Nigeria one. Let's create unity in this country by ensuring that there's equity and equality in when we spray things of this nature. Fine, but I don't blame the Ohanese. They have to keep pumping this to the people of their head because it's obvious that if they should get away with this, anytime this happens, the zoning in Nigeria, as we know it, will be dead.
The last phase of this thing is, you know, they will argue that the PDP constitution we're talking about refers to the North and South. That at no point in time did any talks, did anybody agree about the issue of micro-zoning? Once you say power should go to the South, it could be Southeast, it could be South-South, it could be Southwest. So we are still going to get to a turn and that this is going to be a problem.
But even in this case now, it was not zoned at all to the South. They allowed everybody to buy forms. And once people buy forms, that's expensive. Although not as expensive as that of the APC. But once people pay that kind of money for the expression of interest form and all that, it becomes difficult to tell them that, look, we are zoning to so zone or region. You should have decided that before throwing the issue of sale of forms open. But they didn't do that.
They can even decide not to sell the form to other regions.
Yes.
Zoned it.
Yes, once it's zoned, why should anybody buy? But once you say everybody can buy forms, it means that you had a hidden agenda, that you had no plan to zone. So this is the thing. The two parties were guilty of this. It just happened to be that the governors, the northern governors, stood firm from the APC and said, look, power must go to... After all, the chairman of the party was pushing for a candidate from northern Nigeria and claimed that that was the choice of the president, you know. So this is the thing. For national cohesion, we need this kind of arrangement. Yes, people will say zoning does not usually bring out the best. But have we ever been blessed with the best in the leadership of our country? What we usually hear is once somebody is dead, they will say it's the best president Nigeria never had. You know? That was how people are describing Awolowo after his death. But we never allowed him to be president. You know? And I know that some people will still say that of even some of the gladiators today. If one of the gladiators today who has a very voluble support base loses the election, we are going to hear that he's the best candidate that Nigeria never had. The best candidate that never got to become president of Nigeria. We are certainly going to hear that. When they start saying that, I will remind you that this was what I said.
All right. The last drama is yet to unfold regarding the disputed Akwa Ibom Northwest senatorial tickets of the All Progressive Congress, APC. The ticket is a subject of dispute between former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, Ekpedom, who was declared winner of the party's primary on the 28th of May, has vowed to retrieve the tickets from Akpabio after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, listed him as the candidate for the zone in the 2023 elections. Akpabio was declared a winner of the rerun primary on the 9th of June, prompting Ekpedom to challenge the outcome in court. Let's see this. The list released by INEC on the 20th.
Okay.
It was stated that the candidate for that area, as at now, is Godswill Akpabio.
Yes.
And if Ekpedom does not do anything about it before the election, nothing will change.
Yes, and I think he's determined to do something about it. We've seen this sort of thing happen before. APC was allowed to contest in Zamfara State because the last court pronouncement permitted it to take part in the contest. And it went into that contest, won resoundingly. It's a one-party state in Zamfara and some states of the north. But what did we see? After the election, the case had already matured at the Supreme Court. By the time the Supreme Court gave its own verdict, it went against the APC, and it lost across board, enabling Matawale Maradun, Governor Muhammad Bello, to become the governor of the state, having won the primaries as PDP candidate. So the intrigues, I find the intrigues really interesting. I know that Akpabio doesn't give up a battle easily. You saw what happened when in 2019, when he contested for the Senate seat of his zone and was well defeated. But he tried to manufacture 50,000 votes from nowhere. Whereas the total number of accredited voters was just about 20-something, 26,000 or so. You know, can't remember, but in the region of 20-something, not up to 30. So how could 50,000 have materialized? So he lost in the final analysis. This time around, he was seeking to win the presidential ticket. During that time, they had primaries, which Ekpedom, former Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, won. After Ekpedom won, and Akpabio had stepped down wisely for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he then needed to go back to his state. According to Ekpedom's story, Akpabio told him to give up that senatorial seat and in exchange for ministerial appointment.
Yes. Before the 2022 law, it was easier. You know, people will go and run for the president. They'll come back to run for the governorship after some time.
You can be twisted to give it up. But the law does not permit that twisting. These days, that person must write. He must write to say he is giving it up. He must write the party. By himself, he must present himself to the INEC and say, I am withdrawing.
Very strict.
You can't forge. He has to physically notify them. You know? So now, Akpabio's argument is that the rerun, because there was then another rerun.
Okay.
There was a rerun. Akpabio claimed that first contest was cancelled because of security reasons and all that. Epudom is saying, how can I be a former police boss, you know, rose up to the rank of AIG, and I will take part in a contest that there won't be security? He is claiming that INEC supervised it. And it's true, INEC supervised it. DSS were there. So which insecurity are you citing as the basis for a fresh primary election? So that's where it is. The case will still get to the highest court in the land. And who knows? The governorship primaries in Zamfara have already been, for PDP, has already been cancelled by the courts. Who knows what will happen in respect of this? But it is clear that, look, it's just power play, intrigues, and all that we are seeing. Akpabio having given up, having stepped down, having failed to win the presidential primaries, has decided to fall back. But this man is saying, look, the Abak 5, that is the area where he comes from, in the Ikot-Ekpene zone, have not produced a senator. Whereas Akpabio's zone have produced 5 senators. And that is why his own people are saying, no, don't give this thing up. You have to continue fighting. I know that Epudon will not give up.
How is this case different from the case of the Senate president?
Well, on 2 levels, really. One, the Akwa Ibom problem is local. It's within the confines of Akwa Ibom, or even senatorial zone politics of that particular area. The other one, of course, is national. You all know what I'm talking about. I think what's going to happen will set a standard for things like this. Because like Jack Onde said, anytime you make a law, politicians go out of their way to try to distort it. Imagine this. This law was made basically because people were contesting for presidency, gubernatorial, senatorial, in the same electoral circle. And they said, no, you can't do that. They put in something that they thought would be so firm that nobody can get it. Yet, the APC in Akwa Ibom State decided less than a week after Mr. Akpabio withdrew to run a fresh election. And between you and I, you know what that means. Because just like the lady in Ebonyi, same flexing of power that's really causing problem for democracy. People will not take us seriously when those who are supposed to lead are doing this every day. The level of impunity is
it's just greed for power, nothing else.
I don't know. You've been governor 8 years. You've been minister, not only minister for Delta affairs. That's about the biggest you can be, apart from 1 or 2 other ministries in Nigeria. And yes, you decide you want to go back. You're also Senate leader. He was, I think, Senate leader at a point. The first freshman to emerge as Senate leader. I don't know. The level of greed of our people is outstanding. Because you don't understand what else does he want. Because even within the zone, it's clear that some people are in the minority. This is the opportunity. And you still want to grab it.
It's their chance.
It's not fair.
Jude, I think moving on now, there should be a kind of timeline for this kind of litigation. We should know timeline to the time of election. You know, before, like the Rauf Aregbesola case, in when Iran in Oshun. I remember that took for 48 months.
Almost 3 years.
Before that law was amended that, look, if you are going to the tribunal, you cannot spend more than 180 days. A tribunal cannot sit for more than 180 days. It will be started bad. Whatever you don't do within the 130 days and everything, so that you can concentrate on the main
job of
not even this one, the essence of getting campaigns, getting primaries to start early is to ensure that litigations are dispensed with quickly.
Okay.
That was a good decision that the National Assembly made. But people are also now saying, that it is expensive.
Very expensive.
Because the politician who has emerged winner of the primary
3 months
as far back as May, then would be spending money for 10 months, retaining his core of supporters
before the real election.
10 months. 10 months. So for some of them fled, some travel abroad, because it's just crazy. You have to keep spending money every day. But it was designed so that those cases can be dispensed with even before the election. And we are going to see that. We don't want the sort of thing that happened in Zamfara, that a party that should not have been part of the election took part in the election because the final court had not given its decision. And then after the people wasted their time to go and vote, you then come back to say, no, that they shouldn't have taken part in the election in the first place. The same thing in Bayelsa. That matter, should have been decided long ago.
It's a secondary suit, not even the main suit.
Should have decided long ago. David Leon had won the election.
The outcome of that.
He was already rehearsing for his inauguration.
Yes,
as governor.
Before.
12 hours to go.
When the verdict came, suddenly the verdict came, and
twist of fate.
They told them, look, as far as the law is concerned, APC was not part of the governorship election in Bayelsa State because somebody who should not have taken part in the election took part.
His deputy.
Yes,
not even he.
Yeah, but because
and
you are not
given the opportunity to change.
The candidate cannot contest on his own.
Yeah.
You have to go with someone before your candidacy is complete. So that's the way the law sees it. But they too made a mistake because that person, I knew that he had issues because even when he contested for Senate. They challenged him. Yes. The reason
on technicality.
The case was filed out of time. Otherwise, he would first have been sacked at that level. So who does not, in a very small state like Bayelsa, 8 local government, who does not know that that person had K-leg?
All right. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Don't go away.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay. Where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait. Where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
This blessing be yours forever to keep a calm and peaceful sleep.
Removes mosquitoes so you can sleep a calm and peaceful sleep. Good night, Electric.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccines-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122.
This message is from NPHCDA in partnership with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Hello, it's nice to see you again. It's a good day at First Fountain Court. You know we love sharing our progress with you and taking you every step of the way. The last time we were here, electricals, POPs were ongoing, and today a whole new level has been unlocked, and we are very excited because we are currently painting our homes, tidying our homes, and if you look right there is the utility home, fresh water, clean water, and at the top of this is a gym house. We are really excited, and if you haven't subscribed to First Fountain Home, now is the time. Call the numbers on your screen or visit our website.
The northwestern Muslim-dominated Zamfara state in Nigeria is home to huge deposits of gold more than anywhere in the country.
There's a lot that you can do, for example. In a state where you are sitting on gold, you have more gold than even Ocean State.
No, Ocean doesn't have gold like Zamfara. You should go and check the record and see it. Because in Ocean you have to go like 200 meters before you get a gold, but in Zamfara, in the surface, you can take a gold in any of the surfaces. Now, if you get out from here, you can just take the sun and, sieve it. You can be able to see some particles of gold.
In recent years, the level of banditry in Zamfara has been worrisome, and Governor Bello Matawalle has had to take tough stands in tackling the menace.
Yeah, it will work. I have signed it into law, and anybody found, I will use the law.
But across the world, the death penalty is no longer popular.
Those that are killing people, is it popular?
In this exclusive interview, Governor Bello Matawalle speaks on infrastructure development, including building an airport in the state.
Are there not the state governor's initiative to build an airport? What is wrong with me when I come on board and say I want to build an airport for my state?
And ahead of the 2023 general election, he bears his mind on the chances of Labour presidential party candidate Peter Obi.
It's very popular. Many young people.
That is not in the north. Have you seen social media in the north promoting Peter Obi?
Governor Bello Matawalle believes the ruling All Progressives Congress APC remains the party to beat.
But I will tell you how the calculation is, and you will be convinced that he will win the election.
Some people are saying it's not the best for the job, that someone like Peter Obi is...
Did Peter Obi even believe he's a Nigerian? Did he believe in Nigeria as it is? He didn't.
Watch this exclusive interview on Journalist Hangout on Wednesday, 28th of September 2022, only on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us. The monster of oil theft bedeviling Nigeria may be scarier than we thought. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has confirmed that the force confiscated 123 oil vessels comprising tankers, lorries, barges, buses, and other vehicles used in perpetrating oil thefts. He said the police also seized 1.3 million liters of diesel, 135,000 liters of crude oil, 4,900 liters of petrol and 45,000 liters of engine oil. The Inspector General of Police is giving this breakdown. The confiscation of 123 oil vessels. So it will give you even the international dimension. They have conspirators that will be the people that they sell this thing to, and they collaborate with our security people here, and is so organized.
And oil workers.
And oil workers, so organized. And I don't know, a poor man on the streets cannot have access to oil vessels to go and get crude oil, to go to the IC to go and sell.
No, these are land
I
vehicles.
think these ones are
Like line vehicles too.
when you look at some of what they seized, they are largely being used by bunkers. I think they made a lot of gains against bunkers.
Small timers.
Yes, who were still, and they steal from oil pipelines. They refine
That's
illegally.
responsible for 4,900 liters of petrol
This is
and 45,000
They
liters of
refine illegally.
engine oil.
They refine these petroleum products illegally and then sell.
Those two are who bust pipelines.
Yes, those are bunkers. You know, those ones.
Okay, they're not the.
They're not the big boys.
Bunkering was what we met. I mean, what was common some decades back, to the point that even when Buhari took over in 1983, they decided that okay, for bunkering, bunkering is economic sabotage. You get death penalty and all that. The punishment was stiff. Now, the kind of oil theft that we are talking about, we've been told that it's about 68 million liters every day. In fact, the figures keep changing. Some of the figures that Majid read out yesterday, after a few days, you will hear that those figures are no longer current. Because I still had 68 million liters being stolen every day. 68 million liters is about, is the daily official rate of consumption as far as NNPC is concerned. None of us can confirm that. So we are saying that
refined products.
Yes.
The consumption.
The rate,
crude oil.
The crude oil being stolen
is competing with
the same number of liters.
Wow.
Now we have to praise the police, but the truth is, those who will stop the level of theft, oil theft that we are talking about, that has reduced Nigeria's oil output to just 900,000 a day, is much more than what we are seeing here. And people stealing oil, stealing our crude oil, using super tankers that can take in excess of 400,000 liters at once. Those ones, you are not going to catch them easily like this, because the means of catching them you don't have. Where there is official collaboration, you just discover that the thief has been given the toga of how do I describe it? Like the sins of the thief have been washed away.
He has been forgiven.
The thief has been given license to roam free and steal as much as he wants, because he has official backing or seal of approval for stealing. Because if you are stealing and you get people to give you legitimize the theft that you are doing by way of documents empowering you to carry out the stealing, you know that nobody can catch you because you are going to pose like you are doing it legitimately and that you've been empowered by government to do it. Whereas it's just some individuals who procured that approval for you to go and be stealing what belongs to all of us. This is what is happening. That's why it's difficult to catch such people. No one can convince me that it is that easy to load a super tanker
out of the ICs
or deep into the ICs from some of the major oil export terminals, and then you want me to believe that it's not that easy, and it's not. Let's praise the police for the efforts that they have made against oil thieves. They are oil thieves too. Bunkers too are oil thieves.
So they are small fry.
But compared to those said to be stealing up to 400,000 a day, these ones are they are small boys.
The unique thing about this at this level is that they even connive with the communities, they connive with community leaders, they connive even with ballers, the chiefs in their various communities to perpetrate this.
It is a whole industry. When we are controlling the Southwest pipeline at a point, is then we realize the fact that you are not dealing with bunkers, you are dealing with a whole system that encompasses everybody, including naval officers, who of course were supposed to be partners, but we are sure that these people have access.
No, all the arms of security are involved.
So this one, like I said, this one is small fry.
If you remember the Abule Egba explosion,
I know.
As at that time, I saw the community and the house that which they were perpetrating that thing. There's no how they could have been doing that kind of business. About the Abule Egba. Yes.
There's a church in that area.
Yes. And people in that community would not know.
So the church covered the pipeline. And they do the business there. But they do the business when they are praying the hardest. So whenever the voice goes, people now say, Obetin song. But for the first time I heard that, I thought they were talking about something dirty. That's when the Obetin song.
That's why the NNPC
raided the place and moved them back.
NNPC boss said churches and mosques are involved.
Yeah. The one for Abule Egba I can confirm to you. Big church. And if this, let me show you, the pipeline is like this. The church moved from here to here. There's a whole hall here. And there are 2-story buildings on it.
And those buildings will be erected close to NNPC right of way.
No, it's all over the right of way. They will now, the tankers will now take after you wale at night. So, so you wonder why, because when we do CDC, that street is the only one that does not allow people access after it. What they do is they close the gates and then do the business.
But also jail all of them.
So every time, every 6 months, NNPC will come, break away some houses, expose the pipeline. 6 months later, everybody is back. You know that this is an official.
You know, there was something that the former GMD of NNPC.
Okay.
I said, was it GMD? The former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Kachiku, told us one day when we met him, he said that they wanted to explore the possibility of sending petrol through the pipelines again. You know, they stopped.
Okay, the water story.
that they decided it at NNPC that, okay, we are going to do this. So the day that they planned to push the petrol into the pipelines, they then told themselves that let's first
use water.
To tell you that people at NNPC leaked that information to the oil thieves or the pipeline vendors. They breached the pipeline in multiple places, thinking that it was petrol that was coming. It turned out to be ordinary water, which means if you had passed petrol through those pipelines, that's the same way that they would have broken the pipelines at different spots just to scoop the.
It's very easy to criticize governments. We don't like this country.
No, a lot of us hate the country because you can't love a country and be committed to destroying it the way some of our people are doing. You break the pipeline and you waste the product.
All right. We'll take this breather again. When we come back, we'll talk more. Stay with us.
For more than 20 years, Enyigbeti, the Lagos Economic Summit, has contributed to the socio-economic and infrastructural development in Lagos State back to back. Some of the ideas from the previous Enyigbeti are what we now point to as the attractions of Lagos to the world. Here is another opportunity to discuss the advancement agenda of Lagos. Enyigbeti, the private sector-led participatory forum and incubating ground for the ideas that define Lagos, is holding from October 11th to 12th, 2022. Are you a business leader, a professional, an entrepreneur, an academic, a techie, or in any other category with Lagos on your mind? Register at www.enyigbetisummit.com to attend the summit holding at Eko Hotels and Suites, or to join Enyigbeti 2022 Summit online. Come forward with your thoughts. Let's set an implementable agenda for a greater Lagos.
Hello, it's nice to see you again. It's a good day at First Fountain Court. You know we love sharing our progress with you and taking you every step of the way. The last time we were here, electricals, POPs were ongoing, and today a whole new level has been unlocked, and we are very excited because we are currently painting our homes, tidying our homes, and if you look right there is the utility home. Fresh water, clean water, and at the top of this is a gym house. We are really excited, and if you haven't subscribed to First Fountain Home, now is the time. Call the numbers on your screen or visit our website.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord?
Yes, Nami.
Oga landlord, me go need one room for this your house, so.
Okay, sure you get work where you dey do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You know go dey owe me be that now.
Now how much be your rent, safe?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this guy, where you come from, Sef?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata? No talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people no dey ever join.
Oga, wetin happen now?
Come over my compound. Na so baba thing na people sabi do for that Akamata. Come over here.
Haba, Papa, wetin this innocent girl do you now? Now people like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa.
I think you don't see am now. My people, they talk say jollof rice wey dey for bottom pot today go dey top of cooler tomorrow. As I take need you now, so you self need me. Because now one mama we get, we be Nigeria. Make we love ourselves. Because now only together we go fit to make our country better for us and our children them. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government, they bring in this message.
Showing up in style inspires great confidence. IVM G5T appeals to class.
Time is of the essence. With IVM Kappa, business and meetings are always on the go.
Fun time with the family. Thank you to IVM Kingdom. IVM Kara is always stealing the show. Isn't she beautiful? Influence defines a great leader. IVM Seriki is Africa's commute king. Strong, reliable, and durable. With the concept of regionalization, Innocent Vehicle is committed to satisfying its customers with producing their everyday dream cars.
IVM, pride of African roots.
Welcome back. Bandits are still on the rampage in Katsina State, putting residents in panic mode. Some bandits attacked Bakiyewa community and abducted 43 persons. The bandits are demanding a whopping 250 million naira ransom for the release. Meanwhile, the Maiduguri-Damboa highway has been shut as troops of Operation Hardin Kai engaged Boko Haram fighters in a fierce shootout. Jide, the way these people are calling this money, I don't know where ultimately they get these monies. Because how can bandits on the, be demanding for 250 million naira, and by this if they have like 4 or 5 successful operations, that's going to a billion.
1 billion.
Yeah, the Yorubas will say, anyone to fair. People are paying, somebody paid as much as 200 million. An individual, for a foreigner, paid as much as 200 million. So why won't bandits think that this is their time? We just have to do our best. You know, I was complaining the other day that we are not killing their leaders. We can announce that we killed the multitude of
foot soldiers.
We must kill their leaders. If we don't kill their leaders, they will still be planning. Yes, they will still be planning. Look at Ruji. Look at Ruji. Look at the insult. I listened to the audio clip. How can an individual be threatening a whole country? It's because we have not succeeded in wasting him. When we waste him, and we waste other leaders like that, and we know where they are, definitely they will sit up. But if we don't do that, they will continue to terrorize us the way they are doing. My major concern is where this place is located. The headquarters of this local government that they attacked is just 7 kilometers to Katsina town. So you can see the governor told me the other day that their concern is that these guys are coming to the outskirts of the state capital.
Closing in.
This is the greatest evidence that I've seen that they are getting close. And the danger in that is that we have many public institutions, including institutions of higher learning, in that local government alone. We have Federal College of Education, Katsina, in that local government, Batagarawa. We have Umar Musa Yaradua University, also in that local government. We have the Katsina Central Market, also in that same local government, because that local government shares boundary with Safe, and that Safe, we have plenty of bandits in that local government. That was where, after they kidnapped those schoolboys in Katsina, it was in Safe, in Zamfara, that they took them to. So that Safe is not far from this Batagarawa area. We also have the housing estate, Fatima Sherman Housing Estate. The steel rolling mill, the Katsina steel rolling mill, is also in this local government and the federal secretariat. So it's risky to have bandits come that close, because having succeeded in raiding this village and taking as many as 43 people away, one day they will want to attack one of these schools, either the Yaradua University or the FC. You know, we warned about this in respect of Abuja until they went to the university in Abuja. We were warning that, look, this thing could happen. And then before our eyes, it happened. Talking about Damboa, the Maiduguri-Damboa highway, Maiduguri-Damboa-Biu highway, used to be the most dangerous highway in Nigeria. More dangerous than even the Kaduna-Abuja highway. Then the army shut that road. So if you are going to Biu, you have to go through Yobe State. That means more than 3 times the length of the journey. Now, they recently opened that highway to traffic. And as they were escorting motorists going to trade in neighboring communities and all that, they ambushed the soldiers. We don't know how many people were killed, but we are told that the terrorists were overwhelmed. That's what we want to hear. If indeed,
overwhelmed.
If the story is exactly as it's been painted, that's what we want to see. Because we don't want our troops to die in the hands of these guys anymore. We've made progress in that area. I'm happy to report it. But setbacks will happen until we totally defeat the enemy. We should be ready for such setbacks to happen occasionally. So, but I know that having shown themselves that they are still in that area, Kano will go and serve them justice in that place, and the surface troops too. I'm sure they will try to dominate that area first. Yes.
Now, talking about these bandits, a lot of people, they've postulated a theory that, yes, some of their godfathers are in town and everything, collecting. It's not the ragtag guys that collect the money and everything.
Yeah.
As you can see, the one that was apprehended in Bayelsa, that one that likes going to club, using
He's telling us to hustle.
Yes. At the end of the day, he has met with his Waterloo.
Well, we have to understand, like we said on this program many times, that it's now a business. And like all business, they will have boards. They will have board of directors. They will have senior management staff. Those are the ones staying in town. It is the full soldiers that are on the field. But there's never any reason to doubt that. But like Jide said, my main concern is cutting off the head of the serpents. We can waste as many people as we want. If we don't get to the mother hen or mother bee, as they call it, we will still be going around in circles. What we need to do basically, I don't have any answer to that. They must get the intelligence, they must do whatever they have to do and cut off the head of the leadership of the bandits. That's the only way. Because poverty will always provide them with full soldiers.
Yes.
So that will never be the answer to the problem. You just have to cut off. That's the only solution.
They are the ones who lead the operations. They are the ones who direct them where to go and all that. So
because when they call 250 million,
no, they are not the ones. They don't even see the money. You don't take the money to them now. They can kidnap you in Kaduna here and tell you to go to Kano to drop ransom. So they don't even have access to the money. That's the way it operates. When you hear people saying rubbish on Facebook that they delivered money to kidnap, no, it's not the kidnapper that you deliver money to. It's to someone else. You don't know how they operate. You will never. That one, the one that kidnapped you, your people will never get to see him physically. It's someone else. They are that organized. It's someone else that will collect the money.
Chikebi, thank you for your contribution.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a new week.
Yes, sir.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. Join us every Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday between 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubako. See you tomorrow.